Hi, this is Bill Johnson, and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast. This is episode number 341, where tonight we are going to be talking about In a Violent Nature. No, I'm kidding. Finally, we are going to be discussing the movie we've been talking about for over a month now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, aka The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, apparently, according to Letterboxd. I'm here, of course, as always, with Steve and Todd. Gentlemen, how was your week?
Hi, it's okay. Standard week. What about you guys?
Well,
Same,
that's
just
boring.
busy. Yeah,
Boring?
yeah, it's pretty. Although it's cool, we're starting to get more code oranges out there, as I'm
Yes.
noticing, which is nice. Already made a few purchases, and I'm sure there will be more in my future. I have a fucking like 12-foot skeleton in my living room right now, so
Oh, well.
yeah,
That's not even for Halloween. That's just because.
I think I'm actually gonna put it by the pool, so it's gonna be like a spooky pool thing. Should be fun.
Year round?
Yep, year round. I'll
That's
just put different hats on them for like
I
different
love
holidays.
I just love I'm obviously that's cool as hell, but I love the thought of like the neighbor looking.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, like, what the fuck is this guy
They're
doing?
gonna hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
But
out to Canada, Steve, the fastest swimmer in the world. I was watching this chick. She fucking was killing it
yeah,
on
she
the
had time to
Olympics.
fucking like dry
Yeah.
herself off before the others finish. It's yeah, those roids that we're we're pumping
Well,
out.
shout out to Canada's soccer team though.
Mm,
Ooh.
yeah.
Bad showing, guys. Bad
Oh,
showing.
it's yeah. Well, guess what? Team USA
What?
is also
Ah,
implicated in this.
fuck.
We're not very good in soccer, yeah.
No, no,
No.
no. It's because
You're good at
they were
hiding the
cheating.
drones apparently because
Hey,
we
we're
didn't
better,
get
yeah.
caught, but now it's like it's becoming a whole thing where 10 countries apparently are doing the
Oh,
same
wow.
thing, and we just got
Yeah.
caught first. So
You guys Olympic people? You like watching it?
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll put it on. I won't like sit there and marvel
Fawn
over
over
it,
it,
but
yeah.
it's something.
same.
It's a cool background thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the gymnastics is fucking crazy.
Jesus Christ, like
I'm like, how are these people even existing?
it hurts to
Like,
watch. Like
yeah, like they
Shit.
like I don't get it. Like, what's her Simone
Biles.
Biles.
Biles is fucking like nuts. Like she does like
Yeah.
these she's doing backflips and they're like quadruple backflips and she's like rising into the air. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're
Mhm.
talking
Crazy.
about yesterday how she's like bringing up the age of the team because she's so old. And
Was she like
27.
she's
25?
27. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Gosh, it's
crazy.
fun though. I like it. It's good stuff. I like watching soccer. The only time of the year I watch soccer, or only time in the I guess decade I watch soccer. That and the
Yeah,
World Cup.
right.
And then gymnastics is fun. What else good
I,
ones you
I like
got?
to watch
Beach.
the really random shit, like shooting and
Air
skateboard
guns.
and
Yeah. I've been
yeah.
watching a lot of beach volleyball. It's
Oh, I
been
wonder. Oh,
very entertaining.
Yeah.
Um, Not for the reasons you guys might be thinking, you pervs.
oh,
But also I was watching, man, they have some like really random ass
basketball.
shit. Like, but they had like half court basketball. It
Yeah,
was like
three on
three on
I
three.
three
saw
half
that.
Yeah,
court.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
didn't know that
wow,
was a
that's
thing.
random. Neither did I. Yeah.
Did you guys see handball?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Yeah, that's pretty wild too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it
get
is.
some cool.
Yeah.
They get some like really random stuff. Like this year, breakdancing apparently is in
Yeah.
the Olympics,
Right.
which is going to be coming out. So I can't wait to watch that.
Is there a movie watching
There
thing?
should be. We would dominate, I think.
We
But
fucking own
yeah,
it.
I actually prefer the Winter Olympics just because I like love like the ski jumps and like the
Mm,
fucking bobsled and like skeleton and shit. Those motherfuckers are crazy, going like 100 miles an hour head first down like an ice luge.
yeah. I think
Uh,
I'm a summer games guy myself. It has more sports I
okay,
like.
yeah.
Even though they took out baseball, which is a bummer, but
Hmm.
what you do, you gotta have breakdancing in
Yeah,
there.
I was
So
gonna say they needed room for breakdancing. So.
Yeah.
I
In
was
fact,
watching one where like the horse is literally just walking. I'm like, what the fuck is this? All right.
life imitating art, though, apparently, because we were just talking under Paris with the Seine, and now like they aren't allowing them to swim in it because it's so fucking filthy,
Well,
apparently.
that's what they're telling the the people, but we all know there's sharks
Right.
and
Yeah.
bombs.
See the guy fucking
Exactly.
like puking his guts out after going into the Seine.
No,
It's
holy shit,
just like, oh my God, what a fucking mess. Yeah.
that
Ugh.
sucks.
All right.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I did want to mention before we get into horror news this week, do not forget October 11th through the 13th, Salem, Massachusetts. Our event is coming up. It's actually fast approaching. We're 2 months away now until it. It's crazy. I can't believe it's coming up so fast, but do not miss it. It's just a bunch of Halloween weekend with the cast of Hocus Pocus. Tickets are moving fast for all the events. So if you haven't already booked, definitely buy your tickets soon to that whole weekend of events. So come out and join us for that. But now, Steve, let's spill a little tea.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you want the tea? I'm sorry. We don't serve tea. Nope. Instead, you get a cup of Joe. And now here's Joe with the news.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Chuck. And here you go, your cup of Joe for the week. Let's start off with the Terrifier 3 teaser. I think we've all watched it. It was very short. Yeah, so I would say what, maybe 6 or 7 months ago or something like that, when they did the Terrifier 2 re-release, they gave us like a small little teaser trailer that nothing that I don't think that's actually going to be in the movie. It was kind of like a thing to kind of tease that Terrifier is going to be a Christmas movie. Well, just last week they finally released some footage from the movie. This is how a teaser trailer should be done. It doesn't really give anything away or anything like that. We see a couple of mild scenes here and there, but doesn't give away any of the plot or anything like that. We just see art in his glory, and at the end we see him doing a snow angel in blood, of course. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of it if you did watch it?
Looks cool, man. Like I'm not, head over heels for art. I think is pretty damn cool. It's kind of oversaturated right now, but I think the trailer looks badass. And I just hope that they correct the runtime a little bit and just keep it ultra violent, which we know they do, or they will.
Yeah, it was awesome. It looks bloody as hell, looks really crazy, and I like that. I feel like Damien Leone is trolling some of the people after Terrifier 2 as well with that trailer. Because when Terrifier 2 came out, there was this huge group of people on probably Reddit that were pissed off because they didn't give us Sienna topless scene because she goes in the shower, but she's facing the other way. And I feel that the trailer is kind of teasing that she will do it when I don't think she will, and it's just gonna piss off those people again. And I love that. Like, fuck those guys. So I think yeah, it was a good trailer, and I don't really need to see more. I'll watch it regardless. So good job.
Agreed. I'm good. And Monster Mania this weekend. I bloodied up my Santa outfit just yesterday. I am ready to go. I even bought some Christmas themed Christmas tree glasses. So I'm going to be Santa art this weekend at Monster Mania. If you do see me, come and join me. Yeah, this Friday. I'll be there Friday and Saturday for sure. I doubt I'll be there at all on Sunday, but yeah, come and hang out with me. I am definitely going to be doing the midnight movies on both Friday and Saturday. They're showing Hellraiser and Jeepers Creepers. So if you want to come and hang out for the midnight movies, I'll be there for that as well. Alrighty, next bit of news here. Scream 7 update. Of course, Melissa Barrera fired from the Scream franchise. Jenna Ortega not coming back. And after all that happened, we found out Nev Campbell is going to be returning. Well, what is going to be the plot of Scream 7? Well, Nev Campbell teased a little bit this week on an interview with ET Online. She said, we are going to focus 100% pretty much on the Sidney Prescott's character. She said, they did pitch the concept to me, and it's the reason that I jumped on board. I love these movies, and they are so much fun to be a part of. I'm so grateful for them. I could never have imagined being a part of a movie that would have lasted so many decades. But she said, we are definitely going to follow Sydney in this movie. Gentlemen, good choice.
Sure. I mean, are they wiping the last two away, or are we just doing a continuation of? We don't know, huh? What would you guys want to do? Like continue these two, or Dewey's dead and all that crap, or would you want them to just wipe them and then finish out the story with Sydney?
It's a good question. I don't. So actually, it's so funny. Sam watches a show called Watch What Happens Live, which is like a Bravo show, and they had David Arquette on, and I was watching it with her, and they asked David Arquette like, "Are you gonna come back from Scream?" And he said, "I haven't gotten a call yet." So, he said it's possible, but I haven't received a phone call for it. Now, who knows? He could be lying. They could be keeping that under wraps and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it is a good question because 5 and 6, I don't know if they're going to be canon now or if they're just going to scrape it. I think you would have to scrape it, right? Because like
I think
they were
because they don't
it,
matter anymore.
it was the whole point of 5 and 6 was following the new character of Sam
Mhm.
Carpenter and her character arc with Billy Loomis being her father and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't see how they keep it canon at this point. It just wouldn't make much sense unless like they somehow write them off somehow, some way. Maybe show her just the back of that character getting killed at the beginning of the movie. I don't know. And then Sydney comes in. I've heard the heavy rumor that the plot of this movie is going to be obviously we're going to follow Sydney, but I heard it's going to time jump and Sydney's kids are going to be like young adults now, almost like her age in the first Scream movie, and Ghostface is going to be coming after her family now and her kids.
Interesting. I don't know, man. It's like the perspective would be Scream 1 and 2 come out and are massive fucking hits. And then Scream 3, Courtney Cox and Sidney Prescott are just not in the movie, you know? That's like the same thing. So
Yeah,
back to that point, I don't think 5 and 6 need to exist anymore, but I can see it making sense that they do the time jump, but I think a lot of
Unless
people want them back. Go ahead.
unless they don't call it 7, they just call it like Scream
Screaming.
some fucking title,
Scream
you know?
again. So now we'll have three Scream movies.
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So because
Scream, scream again, and keep screaming. Trilogy.
yeah, with Ghostface, you don't he like it doesn't have to continue that story. He could be anywhere,
Mhm.
right? Because it could be anyone, he could be anywhere. So they don't really need to continue that story. They could just say in an article like those two girls died, and then that's it. The end. You don't have to see them anymore. Like who knows? It's
That's true.
Is this the time to bring Matthew Lillard back? Will he finally?
Gosh,
I
that'd be
really
so
hope they
cool.
never do. I really hope they never do it.
I
Honestly,
just like the actor so much, you
but
know?
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, it would be fun, but man,
He's dead.
the
only
plot
if he's a
the
ghost.
plot holes would be the plot holes would be
Everyone's a
insane.
ghost now.
Yeah, exactly.
Ghost Lillard, love it.
Ugh.
All right, file this next story under. I don't know if anyone really cares, but the director. So I know what you did last summer is coming back, of course. Legacy sequel. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. heavily rumored to be coming back for this one. They're getting a bunch of young actors to come in. Think of basically Scream 5 all over again, but I know what you did last summer style. Well, something the director wanted people to know is that I still know what you did last summer is going to be canon. It will not be forgotten about. What does that mean? Why do we care? I don't really know. I guess the potential to bring Brandy back, the Brandy character back, because I think everyone else is dead. But she took to Twitter to actually say this. She just simply said, "I know what you did last summer is still canon," and that's all she wrote. Caitlin Robinson is the director. But yeah, there you have it. I still know what you did last summer is going to be canon in this movie. Maybe Rastafarian Jack Black Ghost Rastafarian Jack Black will follow us around or something. We shall see.
I think you're absolutely right, Joe. I don't give a shit. Like, fucking, I hate that series so
I was gonna
much.
say 2 movies I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I don't get the love. I think it's like a nostalgia thing for most
It's a cool
people.
title, cool as fuck title,
Yeah,
and with good actors, but just
I,
the movie sucks.
I think. Yeah, I think it was because like it was all hot actors at the
Mhm.
time, and the fact it's a Fourth of July movie and we don't have a lot of Fourth of July like slasher movies, but man, like the fisherman thing, like kind of lame. Like when you look back on
I
it,
agree.
like
I
not
agree.
great. But we seem to be in the minority on that. All right, big news, horror news that came out of San Diego Comic Con this past weekend. And no, it's not Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom thing. I really don't know anything about this. You guys are more of the comic book guys. Does that excite you? This has nothing to do with what the story
Don't
I
ask.
have, but
Don't ask me.
I'm
I don't
just
want to
pure
piss Steve off.
curious.
Yeah, don't ask him. We did a whole recording of other podcasts without
Okay.
Todd just so we can talk about
I
it
yeah,
in
I'm
a
not
safe space.
I'm not the biggest Marvel guy.
All right.
I think it's pretty cash grabby, but what are you
Just
gonna
listen. I mean, that
do?
every movie is cash grabby. That's the whole point of fucking movie.
You know what I mean by
Yeah,
cash grabby.
yeah. Just listen to my other podcasts, the guys that watch movies podcasts. I give all my thoughts about it, and
Gosh.
the new Deadpool movie. So there you go.
All right. Very cool. All right. So the big horror news that did come out of San Diego Comic-Con this weekend is that A Violent Nature 2 has officially been announced. Now, most of us have not even seen In a Violent Nature yet, but it is slated to be hitting Shudder very soon, I think. I just read today, actually, that they're releasing a Blu-ray in October with like 3 hours of bonus footage. So I'm assuming Shudder expected sometime maybe within the next month or two, August, September, something like that. But In a Violent Nature 2 officially has been announced. I assume part one we will be covering on this show sometime before
When does
year's
that
end.
drop? This month? Next month? August?
We don't
We
know.
we don't know
Shutter?
officially yet. Yeah, it
Hmm.
should be soon though. Should be very soon. All right. Next bit of news here is Michael C. Hall is returning to the Dexter franchise. Dexter obviously we're gonna have Dexter Original Sin, the prequel series, not starring Michael C. Hall,
Actually,
but
yes, starring
oh,
Michael.
starring Michael C.
So he's doing the voiceover
Okay,
of Dexter in that show. He's not playing Dexter because he's a younger version, but he is doing
interesting.
the voiceover throughout the show.
Okay, cool. All
Mhm.
right, but Michael C. Hall will be appearing on screen in the new Dexter Resurrection sequel series. That's really all I have for now. It is expected to premiere in summer of 2025. I'm not a big Dexter guy. Never finished it, but Steve, you're the big Dexter guy.
I
So
am.
are you excited for this?
So I was curious what the fuck this is all about because there's a pretty definitive ending to the last Dexter series, and then I assume maybe spoiler alert, maybe go a minute if you haven't watched Dexter, but that Dexter would just be like a ghost essentially in Resurrection. But an interview with Michael C. Hall, he says, "I can't say anything, but let's just say in that last scene it was very cold, and that's all I'm gonna say." So my assumption is that somehow because it was winter he got preserved in a way that he was able to be saved, and hence
That's
having
so
a new season of Dexter
they
called
just love
Resurrection.
bad endings, don't they? In Dexter.
Yeah,
Let's double down on the hurricane,
fucking
guys.
survives a hurricane in the middle of the ocean on a little
Uh,
tiny boat, becomes a
yeah.
lumberjack, dies again, but nope, it was winter. He'll survive.
Uh-uh.
They'll just keep doing
You
this
know,
till fucking he dies for real.
the first what, three what was the Trinity Killer? Season 3 or 4?
It was one, two,
Two,
it was four. Four was
4.
Trinity Killer.
That those 1 through 4 were fucking amazing.
Yeah, the three
The
was not great, but
what was
four was.
remind me what 3 was, the killer.
It was like kind of the Mexican season
Mexican
where he
guy.
has yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that at all, so I'm just gonna stick with Trinity Killer in like the first season. But
Mhm.
man, that show went down.
Yeah, it had ups and downs because six with the religion I thought was really cool. It had like Tom Hanks' son there as the killer, and I thought
See, I
that
don't
one
remember any of
was
that, man.
yeah. So it's up and down, but it definitely had
Yeah.
the worst ending ever.
Hmm.
Well, the original first ending was the worst ever. This one was a little bit better, but not amazing either.
All right. Well, we'll keep you guys updated on that. File this next story under something we were just talked about recently, perhaps a Todd Boner coming up here, but The
Oh,
Collected, the third movie
oh,
in the Collector series, apparently is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, due to COVID, back in 2020, the third movie, The Collected, was shut down and thought to possibly never see the light of day or come. Well, just recently, on YouTube channels, David Claire Bennett, the director of The Collector and The Collected, in the collection, I'm sorry, did an interview where he offered an exciting update. Marcus Dunstan, the director, told the YouTube channel after 5 years in development hell, The Collector is free. The collection is going to be coming. It is something that we're thrilled about. We want to come back and do it right. What are the next steps? He said, well, we're at the beginning stages. So we're going to get together. We want to take advantage of the time between 2020 and now and also acknowledge it so we can just go and do exactly what we are going to do before, of course, filming halted. No, that might, he said, no, that might ring a little false. That was a reflection of a different time. If we're going to do it now, what's the smartest play? We are very protective of these characters. We want to honor the opportunity to bring the collector back. So it is a burning freight train of fright, he adds. He also went on to say that Josh Stewart, who played the collector in the other two movies, is set to reprise the role. And that's really all we have for now. So beginning stages, but we shall see if it will actually happen or not. But it does sound like talks are definitely heating up for a third collector movie.
Cool. I'm yeah, 100% for that. Was he was Josh the collector or was he the main guy? No, Josh
Oh, wait,
Stewart
he
was the
might
main
be.
guy. Yeah.
Okay, the main guy. My fault.
That's
My
good then
mistake.
because I want to see that in his story.
Cool. So maybe you will get it in this third movie, hopefully coming soon. Next bit of news here is Scare Tactics. Ever heard of it? Were you a fan? I
No,
see Todd shaking
never
his
heard
head.
of it.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Yes.
Scare
Scare Tactics
Tactics.
was amazing.
Scare Tactics was
Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I used to watch it all the time. So Scare Tactics was a horror themed prank show on Sci-Fi. It ran for a few years. Well, it is coming back with Jordan Peele set to produce a reboot of the Scare Tactics TV series. That's really all I have for you right now. No talk about when or what network it is going to be on. It does say it's going to be fall under the NBC network banner, so perhaps it could be a Peacock exclusive or something along those lines. But yeah, pretty cool. And with Jordan Peele behind it, you know they're going to have a good budget to do it right and whatnot. So yeah, we'll keep you up to date on that.
Yeah.
But Steve, I definitely recommend going back watching some Scare Tactic episodes. There's probably some things on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube it.
Some
Yeah,
clips.
probably.
It's pretty
I'll
fun.
check it out.
They did some crazy shit. There was like a great one with like the one I remember the most. It was like a Bigfoot thing where they had these people like in a camper. And they had a guy like in a Bigfoot outfit, fucking just like
Yeah.
going against the window and stuff. It was really good.
Yeah, that was a really fun show, and I remember one they pick up like a hitchhiker, and he like fake kills one of the people, and the
Yeah.
guy that's not the actor starts punching the fuck out of him, and they're
Oh, I
like,
remember
cut,
that. They had to
cut, cut.
stop it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. They used to use like small people a lot for like there was one where they did like a satanic
Yeah.
birth and like they had a small person like come out of like a woman and like the guy had like horns and shit like that and was like running around and people were going crazy. It's funny. It's a funny show. It's really entertaining. And if you're a horror fan, I think you'll definitely dig it. All right. Just a couple more stories here. Congratulations to Longlegs. The heat on Longlegs continues here. Now the highest grossing indie horror movie of the last decade. So congratulations to Longlegs on that. Todd, you definitely have to jump on that. Hopefully you'll be hitting VOD pretty soon for you there. Can't wait to hear your thoughts once that hits. And then just a couple more. What We Do in the Shadows. The final season has officially been announced. We have a release date of Monday, October 21st for the final season of What We Do in the Shadows. Excited? Sad?
I'm
just
ready.
finished. Yeah, I'm ready to. I just finished season 4, and I was like, it's time.
Yeah. I like it, but
Yeah.
I think it's time. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I saw they're starting to do cons now too. Like Nandor just got announced for a con and stuff like that. So that's cool. Hopefully, I'd love to meet Nandor and Naja and Jackie Daytona.
Yeah, you met Guillermo already.
Human Vampire. I did meet Guillermo. Yeah, he was cool. All right. And then lastly tonight, an update on the Chucky TV series. I know some people might be interested in this. I am jumped off the bandwagon, I think, after the finale last season. But Chucky has officially not yet been canceled. It is currently sort of in a lull. You know, at the end of last season, they had a whole thing about hashtag, save Chucky, because it had not been renewed. So Jennifer Tilly wanted to clear the air over on Twitter. She said the good news, Chucky hasn't been canceled, but it also hasn't been renewed yet either. So they are once again just begging fans to use the hashtag renew Chucky. So if you do want to save Chucky, perhaps, the studio's paying attention, you can use the hashtag renew Chucky on Twitter and whatnot. I think it's going to get canceled. Personally, I think if they were going to renew it, they would have renewed it by now, because they would have wanted it out, I would feel like, at this point, or pretty close to it. So yeah, I think it definitely ran its course, and I think it's time to go back to movies because the TV show just is no longer working, in my opinion. But we'll see. And yeah, that's it for horror news this week. Thank you.
Nice.
All right, gentlemen, let's get into what you've been watching this week.
Okay, so I finished season 3 of The Walking Dead and my Walking Dead rewatch, and this one introduces the governor. And man, he I think he's gonna be my favorite villain. Like I've been through the Negan stuff, and I think the governor just has a little bit something extra special. He's so fucking good at being like swarmy, right? Like he's a good salesman, and he seems like a good guy, and he's like, oh, I can fucking work with this dude, cool. And then he's like, I'm fucking evil, and I got heads, and I'm gonna torture people. And like, oh my god, calm down, governor, you freaking weirdo. But yeah, the group, Rick's group finds a prison, and they start, making their own and things like that. And oh, I gotta say too, right back, I think it's the beginning of season 3, maybe the ending of season 2, but it's one of my favorite sequences where Andrea is separated from the group after the farm gets taken over, and she's literally running for like 9 hours straight, and she's exhausted. It's in the morning, she's been running all night, and she's just like falling over, exhaustion, fighting zombies, and it's fucking really cool. And then we get introduced to Michonne too, who actually rescues Andrea and helps her get back up to speed and stuff like that. Merle's with the governor's group. He's just an amazing actor. And, I just wish the character would have got out of his own fucking way and stopped being a real racist piece of shit and just like calm down because he would have been an awesome addition to the group. But yeah, Governor, he makes the season. I really like the character. And I think this season is really fucking cool. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5, and that's watched over on Blu-ray.
The solid rating. I like season 4 as well, so that's
Yeah, I just started it, so I'm like, cool.
Right. All right, I'll go next. So we did a movie club night last week, and I want to thank everyone who came. It was a lot of fun. So we were capping off Shark Week, and we reviewed 2010's The Reef, which was one of the movies that was also one of the things that we were voting on, but it didn't win because Under Paris did. So this one I watched over on Netflix. The story is pretty simple. A group of people go on a boat, and then the boat hits like a rock because it's very shallow where they are, and the boat, capsizes, and group of survivors are kind of stuck on the boat, like it's upside down, and they're stuck on it, and they're trying to decide whether or not they should try to swim to an island that they know is nearby, or they should wait for rescue. And the issue is that the boat is caught in the current, so it's starting to drift further and further away from land, which lessens their chance of rescue. But on the flip side, if they do try to go into the water, there are sharks that are roaming those waters. They mostly decide to go onto into the water, and that's kind of where the majority of the story takes place, is them trying to swim to this island as sharks start picking them off one by one. I remember really liking this one. It's a more serious shark movie. It's nowhere near like Ghost Shark or even Under Paris in terms of like action and everything. But I gotta say, upon this rewatch, other than being like with a great group of people and doing funny commentary, I was pretty fucking bored to death in this one. There's not a whole lot that happens. It's really just people floating around and complaining the whole time, and there's very little shark stuff. And when the shark stuff does happen, it's not all that interesting. Most of the kills are kind of off screen, and I just wasn't vibing with it whatsoever. The characters I thought were super unlikable, so I don't give a fuck if they die anyway. And the end is so abrupt. It just like there's not a whole lot of survivors left by the end, and then they kind of get on a rock, and then it ends. I guess it just has to go to your imagination as to what happens there. I think they do give what happens to that one character that is on the rock, but I don't know. I just unfortunately didn't love it. So I gave it 1.5 stars out of 5.
Wow,
I was bored.
brutal.
And boring to me is probably one of the worst cinema sins. So unfortunately, I just didn't love it. And if you want to join us for movie club for August, the theme this month is going to be back to school. So I'm taking recommendations right now for a vote. So anything that's set in or around schools is what's going to be voted on, and then we'll watch it on the last Friday of the month. So all you have to do is join Discord for that.
I'll piggyback off that because I watched The Reef thinking it was going to win the voting, and it ended up not winning. And yeah, I'm higher on it. 3.5 out of 5. It used to be a 4. It dropped down for me. I just, shark movies when they're done effectively, they scare the shit out of me because I hate sharks. And there's some really clever editing where they use real shark movements and they edit it together with the actors, so it's pretty effective. And then just like one scene in particular where like the body's just being eaten in front of them just like creeps me the fuck out. But I agree. I hate the characters, and it's such a stupid fucking choice to swim to the island that they don't know where it's at. One, two, it's multiple miles away. You're in shark infested waters. I just fucking hate that guy, that like the tough guy, or whatever. So yeah, I gave it a 3.5. I liked it a little bit more.
It was my pick because I had never seen it. So, now you guys are right. One's high, one's low. So I guess I'm gonna have to watch it and see what I think about it. I'm curious, Steve. Did you like Open Water?
Yeah, I liked it better than
Okay,
this.
the
Mhm.
better than okay. Just because I feel like it's like a similar sort of thing, which is sort of them floating around for the majority of the movie.
And I wonder if I not just watched so many like crazy fucking shark
mm,
movies lately, if I would have liked it more, because after seeing those, this one was so low energy
sure.
and the shark kills were just nothing compared to the last few. So that could have been something too. So
Yeah, I
something
mean,
to keep in mind.
how do you go from a shark eating someone's asshole out of a
That's
toilet
right.
to the reef? It's tough. It's a
Yep.
tough thing. All right. I only got one this week. I rewatched Scream, not the original, but 2022's Scream, and we were just saying maybe the next one will also be called Scream since they're rebooting it. Who knows? Maybe there'll be 3 movies called Scream. Isn't there already something like that? Isn't there is there Texas Chain?
Final Destination.
Isn't there 3 Texas Chainsaw Massacres?
But yeah, I think
Wasn't
there are.
wasn't
I
the
think
third
the
one?
original, the remake, and
And
one
then
of,
the newest
and the
one,
newest one are all
right?
called
Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw
Hmm.
Massacre.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so maybe there'll be another one. But anyway, I watched Scream 2022 in preparation for Monster Mania this weekend. A lot of the cast is going to be there. I think Sam really wants to meet Melissa Barrera, so I think we're gonna meet her for Sam. Um, line pending because I think she's going to be a big draw, but we'll see. Yeah, I hadn't seen it since we reviewed it on the podcast, so I was interested to see what my thoughts would be on a revisit. I really did like Scream 6. Obviously, when we reviewed that, I thought it was a big step up from this one. And yeah, my opinion really has not changed on Scream 5. I still think it's rather weak for the most part. I feel like it was like a huge nostalgia grab, and it still feels that way. Where they really did it really did seem like a legit almost remake where they just sort of copied a lot from the original movie, and just didn't bring much new to the table. I also felt the legacy characters were so underutilized in this one. They all they're just sort of there, and they come through a little bit at the end, but throughout the majority of the movie, Nev Campbell is, really, they really did not use her how they should have, I felt. So that was disappointing. I felt the acting was rough at times, especially from Melissa Barrera, like I said, but I did feel like she stepped up big time in Scream 6, but I was just not connecting with any of the characters. The dialogue is fucking at times just downright terrible in this movie too. Just really just like cringe shit. I mean, granted, maybe we're not the age base anymore, but still, like, I just found myself being like, like, but yeah. And then obviously what they did to, if you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry, skip forward in a minute if you'd like. But what they did to Dewey's character in this, I think, was just like a massive disservice to that character. He fucking survived so much crazy stuff in all the movies. It was just ridiculous, and just stupid, and just hated how dumb his character played off at the end of that, and he was doing so like he was actually one of the best parts of Scream 5. His arc was really good. And then like the fact he would like make a stupid decision like that, just it did not gel well with me to that. So yeah, I still I there's still some decent stuff in here. The intro is really good. Jenna Ortega's character is pretty good in it. And there's some decent kills and stuff. So I give it the same score, a 2.5 out of 5. But yeah, overall, just nothing great. But skip it, go to 6. But honestly, you don't even need to watch them anymore because they fucking completely abandoned this storyline now. So we'll see what Scream 8 or Scream 7 is going to bring us now.
Yeah, something that sticks out in my mind about that movie is after I think I watched or you watched or something. Steve hadn't watched it yet, so it was a private message. But you were like, Dewey and Gail, most toxic relationship in horror history. Absolutely. Let's move on.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I agree with you 100%.
hmm
All right, my next one, final one here is Pet Cemetery Part 2. Mr. Edward Furlong comes in. And yeah, this young boy and his father, father's a veterinarian and his mother passes away. So he's upset. He's going through some shit, man. It sucks. Goes to a new town because the father's taking over like the veterinary service or whatever. Goes to a new town. And of course, bullies find him, target him, things like that. Ends up learning about the pet cemetery and all that shit. So something bad's gonna happen. But something that steals the show though is his friend here has a young mother who is married to this douchebag, the stepdad, played by Clancy Brown. He's a local sheriff who's a giant piece of shit. Like man, like if you watch this movie, you're gonna fucking hate him. And Clancy Brown is such a good actor that like he plays it perfectly. Like he fucking I hate him. Clancy Brown in this movie is fucking terrible. The bullying, I hate bullying in movies, man. There's some heavy bullying in this too, so that's kind of hard to watch at times. But overall, man, I think it's a solid movie. I'm not the biggest Pet Cemetery person as far as the original film, the newest remake goes. I think they're just average. So this one fits right in there. And I still think the best medium for this story is the book itself. But overall, I think Pet Cemetery 2 is a really good follow-up that if people give it a chance, I think they'll like it. But I see if they're a diehard Pet Cemetery 1 person, they might not enjoy this one as much. So, but yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 5, and I watched it on Blu-ray.
All right, my last one this week is continuing my year-long series where I review one movie every month from somebody's recommendation in our Discord. So this month was a recommendation by our buddy Eric, and that was 2016's The Chair. So, The Chair is a movie that stars Bill Oberst Jr., who most people would know from Circus of the Dead, and also Roddy Piper in his final role, unfortunately. So, this is the story of a death row inmate, and the prison is like grimy and disgusting, and the guards treat prisoners like absolute shit. Like literally, they shit in their food, they piss on their food, they treat them like dogs and everything like that. Roddy Piper being the main guard in this one, who treats people the absolute worst. Bill Oberst Jr. is the warden of this hospital, and this one dude on death row just wants to enact change in the prison because he thinks it's not fair that the way that the prisoners are being treated. He also claims to be innocent of his crimes. And the movie kind of develops as he comes to terms with the fact that he's about to be executed, as he tries to help people, but also find out did he actually commit those crimes or is he actually innocent? So this movie, it's okay. It's got some really sick shit. Roddy Piper, he's a great actor. Like obviously, legendary wrestler, but I wish he had spent more time acting because everything I've seen him in, They Live, Hell Comes to Frogtown, he's just a legit actor. He just has this swarmy way about him that is so good. And Bill Oberst Jr. also a very underrated actor. He also plays a very kind of swarmy character. If you've seen Circus of the Dead, it's fucking uncomfortable watching him perform. So the only problem is that first of all, the first half of the movie is so dark. And I don't mean that in a like spooky way. I mean that in a I don't know what the fuck's going on because I can't see it on screen way. Like Alien, was it AVP 2, like Requiem, that was so dark that you couldn't see a fucking thing. The second half is a little bit brighter because as the guy is changing, the prison starts coming more into focus and stuff like that. And it gets a little bit better, but overall, I wouldn't say this is an amazing film by any means. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars, but it was worth it just to see Roddy Piper doing his thing, and it has a decent ending as well. So that's The Chair 2016, which I watched over on Tubi.
Excellent. Steve, I got one for you here, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Because you're always down for suggestions. You being a Bill Oberst guy,
Mm.
and you saying he's such a good actor, I'm gonna recommend this one to you because I
Okay.
kind of want to hear. I want to see your opinion on it. Devil's Junction, Handy Dandy's Revenge, starring Bill Oberst Jr., Bill Moseley.
Hmm.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I will add
For
it
those
to
that
my...
can't see, Steve is literally writing something down.
Well,
while we're
I
typing his phone.
have it open on Letterboxd on
Oh
Bill
my
Oberst
word!
Jr.
What is
so-
that?
Oh,
what kind of
actually-
creature is that? A fucking
It's a
bunny?
puppet. It's a puppet. I'll
Oh,
read the
boy.
synopsis real quick so the fans out there can, or the listeners can hear it. A shuttered TV studio in Detroit is haunted by a magician slash ventriloquist from a 1960s children's show, and he's looking for a new live or dead studio audience.
Oh, sounds interesting.
There you go.
Yeah. I saw your score. It's actually not as bad as you would think.
Yes.
And don't forget, Bill Oberst Jr., also known mostly for this role as Tickles and Tickle the Clown. So
Oh, Lord.
never forget. He plays
Oh,
gosh.
the voice of the clown.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
The Illuminati movie there.
I prefer the sequel, Trump versus the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To each his own.
Yes.
And by prefer, that means he prefers one piece of shit over the other. It's like it's shaped better. Yeah.
Oh,
Gosh,
man.
those movies fucking suck, dude. Ugh.
All righty. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Todd, bust out the books, baby.
Okay, Joe in a lead with 8, Steve 7, myself 6 for quarter number 3. I would like to lead off because
Ooh.
Steve, you were talking about Circus of the Dead, and I so happen to have a trivia question, so I know both of you watched it. Gotta be quick on this one.
It's been a while, but
Yeah, me
I'll
too.
try.
Bill Oberst Jr. What is his clown's name?
Popcorn.
Correct. Popcorn.
Actually, shout out
Popcorn.
when Joe and I went to Texas Frightmare, we got this amazing fucking Dawn of the Dead-ish poster of Circus of the Dead.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Didn't we send one to you?
I still have it.
No,
It's-
okay.
If this guy has it, it's gonna take 3 years.
I have it right. Actually, I can pull it up right now. I'll give it to Todd when he comes in October.
We made sure that we got one for Todd because
We do.
it looked fucking
Yes.
awesome.
Also-
It is a cool poster.
When I come in October, secret project time.
Ooh.
Just a little teaser right there.
Getting the swing
Yeah.
for a test run.
Yeah.
I hope you don't wait to come until October.
Oh.
though. You know what I mean?
Oh, my word. I'm gonna save it up for you.
Thank you. All right. I'll go next. All of my trivia tonight has something to do with some sort of connection, I should say, to Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Interesting.
franchise. All
Let
right.
me rewatch the series real quick.
Yeah, right.
Give
Like
me
Matrix
9
style.
hours.
Yeah.
Starting with my first question. Actor John Larroquette. Perhaps you've heard of him. Provided the iconic voice, of course, for the intro to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But due to the film's small budget, instead of money, he accepted this
Cocaine.
as a form of payment. Incorrect.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Meat, food.
Incorrect. I'll give you one more guess.
Maybe
each.
Texas barbecues. Like, I'll get you a fucking rack of ribs.
I'll go
cigarettes.
with
Cigarettes is incorrect.
weed. I'll go with on the drug theme.
Oh,
You got it.
Oh,
Steve
yeah.
is correct. It is. He
That's
accepts
hilarious.
the form of marijuana. It was always a myth, but Larroquette actually just this year confirmed it in an interview that he was
Nice.
paid in marijuana.
he was promptly arrested.
Yeah. I thought I heard a rumor. I thought it was cocaine, but I guess
That's cool.
weed makes more sense.
Mhm.
All right,
Man,
so my
70s
theme,
were a hell of a time.
Oh,
Right?
for
Yep.
sure. So my theme this week is Kayla because
Kayla.
I forgot to get some questions. So all Kayla ones this week. Who is the celebrity that Chucky killed in Seed of Chucky?
Jennifer Tilly?
Wrong.
John Waters?
Wrong.
Is
One more
it
guess?
And-
Redman? Redman?
It's not wrong. No.
No.
He's in that, right? Is that his
Yeah.
name? Redman?
Yeah, I think
Rayman?
so. Or Method Man. I can't remember. It's
Method
one of
Man?
them.
Yeah.
It might have been Red. It
Something
might have been
man,
Red Man.
Man.
Joe, you want one more guess?
It was no. I
No?
honestly I can't remember. I haven't
Right.
seen that movie since it fucking first came
We should
out.
cover that one. That'd be fun.
Huh.
Yeah, it would be.
So it was actually Britney Spears.
Britney.
Really?
It's Britney,
Yeah.
bitch.
Like the actual Britney Spears was in the movie, or they just like used like a
I don't
random
remember,
actress?
honestly.
Wow,
Britney
how
alone.
random.
All right, back to me.
Yes.
We are going with the tagline, but I know all three of us have seen it, and we liked it, and we reviewed it. See it with someone you hate.
Oh,
Tagline: See it with someone you hate.
sounds familiar.
Okay, joke answer: Halloween ends. But
Yeah, that's my favorite. That'd be perfect if they did that.
Right?
See it with someone you hate.
See it with someone you hate.
I'll throw some hints out there once you guys give up on the first round here.
I have no idea.
The Human Centipede.
Incorrect. Steve, would you like a thrown out guess before I
I'll
give some
just
hints?
Greasy Strangler.
Incorrect. I own a signed copy of this film,
That's
and that is a big giveaway if you remember
the special.
why. Exactly.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice. Very nice.
We all own a Sun copy.
Yeah,
of
we
it.
Yeah. Good movie, man.
It is a good
It's
movie.
fun.
I don't know about that. Like, I don't think I think it's good. So I don't know why that tagline, but
Yeah, maybe because it's disgusting.
yeah, maybe.
You're fucking ahead.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Guess the movie based on the IMDb information.
All right.
This movie was released in the year 1995 with an R rating clocking in at 1 hour and 46 minutes. Currently sitting at a 4.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oof, brutal.
Yes. Director Toby Hooper. Perhaps you've heard of him.
I've
Heard of him.
I have heard of him.
Actors
95.
Ted Levine. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Put the lotion in
Daniel-
the basket.
Daniel Matmore, Jeremy Crutchley, and Vanessa Pike.
No.
Tagline is escape is not an option. I will also say I am negating the biggest actor of the movie.
Escape is not an option. 95.
Oh, I didn't say also categorized as horror and mystery.
Nope, not sure.
Connection, of course, to Texas Chainsaw Massacre is
Toby
Toby
Hooper. Yeah, I figured as much.
I was thinking that you were all Texas Chainsaw, like that would be the answer to any
Yes,
of
I
them,
was trying to throw you off.
You're a little trickster.
A little
there.
sneaky this week.
A little sneaky little bitch.
I will also say it has a Metascore of 8.
Jeez. Well, I guess put the big actor in there since we both have a blank.
All right,
Unless
I'll
you
give
wanna skip it.
I'll give you the hint. I'll give you the hint. I'll give you the big actor. Robert Englund.
Robert Englund.
Jesus Christ.
Toby
Yes.
Hooper, 95.
Yeah.
Invaders from Mars.
We'll be talking about it coming up right next year for our Toby Hooper
Yeah, we will.
retrospective episode.
It's not,
Is
it's
it
not Invaders from Mars.
It is not.
Okay. Fuck.
Is it 1001 Maniacs or
No.
Okay. I always forget what the number is on that.
No,
Give
he
up?
didn't. He didn't
Giving up?
direct that.
Yeah,
I give up.
All right. Based on the story by Stephen King. The movie is The Mangler.
Oh,
Oh, no,
Never
I
seen
would
it.
not. I would
Oh,
not have
really?
guessed that off me
Never
neither.
seen it.
No.
All right.
could be a
Ooh.
new one.
Yep.
Mr. Hooper. That's a terrible score though. An 8. Jeez.
An 8 out of 100.
All right.
Wow.
Still a Kayla question here.
Kayla.
Match the quote to the movie.
Okay.
It was kind of fun in a necrophile sort of way.
Interesting.
Kind of fun in a necrophile sort of way.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the character said that, and then we have
Yes.
to give the title.
Mhm. I'll give you 2 hints after.
Yeah. I might need them.
Yeah,
I got because I got nothing. You got anything, Todd?
kind of fun in a necrophile film sort of way. No, I
All right,
got nothing.
my 2 hints is 1, we've reviewed it on the
Okay.
podcast, and 2, we're more than likely going to talk about it soon.
Oh,
Oh gosh,
interesting.
more than likely gonna talk about it soon.
And it has to do with necrophilia.
Man,
Hmm.
You guys give up?
Oh,
Hills Have Eyes.
House on Haunted Hill.
Wrong.
I was
All
thinking
right,
something
so-
60s, but
That,
you're on the
I
right
think
track,
that's
though.
58 though.
You're on the right. Yeah, it is.
Oh, might
It's
be.
in 50s,
Okay.
but you're on the right track, Joe. It was actually Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby.
Ah,
What
oh, I
part
don't
was
remember
that
that
from?
quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
It,
remember
Oh,
that
it
quote.
must be at the party.
Hmm.
bunch of fucking weirdos in that movie.
No kidding.
All right. All right. Here's another tagline from my trivia book that will not come out this year because I'm doing something else. Um, in every neighborhood, there's one house that adults whisper about and children cross the street to avoid.
Ooh, the
That's
people
that
under the
tagline?
stairs.
Correct.
Oh, nice.
People under the stairs. Joey with the fucking fire.
Yeah,
Damn.
this quarter he's on.
Wow. It's
Hey,
a
Joe.
big tenor.
Thank you. All right, 3 letterboxed reviews. Can you guess the movie?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Okay. Number 1, horny ass director.
There's a lot of
Number 2, this big dumb piece of crap has really grown on me over the years. Love seeing some of the most obnoxious characters of the series being taken down.
Oh. This
Hmm.
series being taken down.
And number 3, perhaps the giveaway if you remember quotes from the movie, because the last review is simply just a quote. You got perfect nipple placement, baby.
Well, that
I
sounds
remember that
familiar.
quote.
Yeah,
I
me
remember that
too.
quote. You got perfect nipple placement, baby. What is that
Perverted
from?
director.
God, what's the connection to TCM though? It's a real question.
Mm.
Perfect nipple placement, baby. Man,
Yeah.
I'm destined to goose egg this time.
I have no idea. I'm gonna just throw one out there. Eaten Alive?
Incorrect.
I feel like it's a more modern movie,
Yeah, probably.
right?
I'll give you a hint.
Oh.
I'll give you the text Chainsaw Massacre connection.
All right.
Okay.
It is directed by Marcus Nispel, who directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Oh fuck. 1 second.
Raw?
No,
Is it Friday the 13th?
it is. It's Friday the 13th, the
The
remake.
only
Wow.
reason I know that, the
He
only
likes the
reason
boobies.
is I bought the autograph from that Leatherface, and the guy threw in the director's autograph with it, and it has both Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre on it. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Bernarski or the other guy who played Leatherface in the remake?
I think it's Bernarski.
Bernarski,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I didn't want it. I wanted to buy it secondhand. I didn't want to give that guy
Right?
any more money.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, last question here. To what country is protagonist Rob preparing to relocate at the start of Cloverfield?
Ooh.
Let's go England.
Wrong.
United Kingdom. No?
It's 2 different answers, but I don't know.
Well, United whatever. You know what I mean?
Let's go with France.
Wrong. I'll give you one more guess.
Okay. Let's go with Japan.
Correct.
Oh,
There you
Nice.
go. There's
I
your
got
goose
fucking
egg.
lucky.
You man.
Hail Mary,
Yeah.
dude.
It is a nod to Godzilla.
Oh, makes sense. That's a good movie, dude. Cloverfield.
Yeah, it is.
Too bad the sequels aren't good. Well, Cloverfield, the one where she's in the bunker is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
But the third one is fucking ass.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Good
What's
one.
the third one in space? What's that called?
Oh, that was bad. Yeah.
Paradox?
Yes,
Paradox.
maybe close to paradox.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right. Steve with the win tonight with 3, Joe 2, myself with the one I pulled out my ass with 1. Brings us quarter number 3 tied at 10 apiece. Joe and Steve with me with 7, second/third place. So any man's game still. We'll see.
Alrighty. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's get into it. Our main event of the evening now, 1994's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, starring Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, amongst others. Directed by Kim Henkel. Plot: a group of teenagers get into a car crash in the Texas woods on prom night and then wander into an old farmhouse that is home to Leatherface and his insane family of cannibalistic psychopaths. Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But Todd,
Okay.
can you give it a little more accuracy for us this week?
A little bit more pizzazz here. All right, so we meet young Renee Zellweger, who's a high school student. She's getting ready for a dance. Her stepdad's a giant fucking asshole. He comes in the room and starts like, abusing her. And I think there's some underlying shit there that we needed to address. But unfortunately, the movie doesn't address it, and he does not get killed by Leatherface, which sucks. Eventually, she goes to the dance and she meets up with her friends. One of which is a fucking stupid piece of shit named Barry. He's two-timing. He's got a new girlfriend, things like that. They end up all getting in a car, driving away, and eventually get in a car wreck. And of course, their car's fucked up, so they can't get it, out of there and stuff like that. So they end up walking on a road to try to get help. They find help with the local real estate agents, who, if you throw a rock at her window and break her window, will show you her boobs. So strategy for all the young guys and girls out there who want to see some breasts. That's the way to go.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. I thought that was an interesting way to get boobs shown to use, breaking her fucking window. She calls help in the form of Matthew McConaughey, who's a tow truck driver. Immediately, we know he's a fucking weirdo because he doesn't hide it. There's no buildup. He immediately starts trying to kill people. He has a robot leg, which is fucking goofy as hell, which we'll cover on shortly. And we learned that Matthew McConaughey is part of this new kind of TCM clan here with Leatherface, who's very heavily into cross-dressing. We got some other side characters there. We got the kids, and it's just not the greatest, right? But yeah, when I first watched it, I didn't like it. That was years ago, and this rewatch, I appreciated it a little bit more. I think Matthew McConaughey's character, while like extremely weird, is actually it played really well. Like I think he plays crazy and scary uh, uh, very well, and it kind of like helps the film a lot. That being said, it's so fucking goofy, and it doesn't feel Texas Chainsaw Massacre at all because it's not like dirty and gross and shit like that. It's just bad, and then you can tell that the budget was severely limited compared to the other ones, which is weird because TCM was like a low budget film to start, and they fucking knocked it out of the park. But you can tell this is like a '90s bad horror film. So, think higher of it now, but it's still not the best movie. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Also should mention this is directed by Kim Henkel, who actually co-wrote the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the only movie he's ever directed, by the way, this
weird.
movie here, which is interesting. I can kind of see why after watching this movie. So I have I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie because I remember the first time I ever saw it, it was at like maybe like 1:32 in the morning, like randomly on HBO when I was probably like 12 or 13 years old, having no idea it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but quickly started unraveling that it was. Yeah, man, this movie is really fucking weird. It goes to some really bizarre places, which we'll get into, but overall, it's pretty fucking terrible. There's not much great in here, although I 100% agree with you, Todd. Matthew McConaughey steals the show. Without him, this movie would almost be unwatchable. But he really gives a great performance. And with that fucking terrible choice of having a robotic leg, which was just, man, without that, I feel like his character would have been even more like terrifying. But like, man, the movie, it really does feel like a parody of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a lot of ways. Leatherface is a little bitch in this one, just like screaming like a prepubescent boy most of the movie. just really annoying. Not one person is killed with a chainsaw in this movie. Like no one really even dies in this movie. There's like maybe one neck crack. But like all the kills are off screen for the most part. There's that one girl who does get tortured a lot throughout the movie, but other than that, there's really not a lot of killing going on here. The family, besides McConaughey, pretty lame. No one's really great here. That one, the real estate woman character just seems really out of place compared to the rest of the family too. Like I know she starts to get a little crazier towards the end. They kind of mess her hair up and stuff like that, but in the beginning, just definitely doesn't have that sort of rednecky thing. I did enjoy the brother character who kept reciting quotes from like historic people throughout. Like it kind of made me laugh, but overall, nothing great here. I actually think Renee Zellweger's fucking terrible in this movie too. Like I feel like her acting is horrendous, like really, really bad. Honestly, the most interesting part of this movie is like the behind the scenes stuff I was reading like after the fact, and whatnot. But overall, I mean, like I still like it had some enjoyment watching it here and there, and I would rewatch it, just like just for the nostalgia factor of it. But like, I would never recommend this movie really to anyone because it is truly terrible on just about almost every level.
Yeah, I agree with you guys on most things. There's you watch a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and the first thing you want to see is a cool Leatherface and cool Leatherface kills. And I think this is actually the worst Leatherface of the entire series. I fucking hate his mask. His look overall is just it looks cheap. It looks like just like a costume. It doesn't look as good as even the original, which had no budget. So yeah, that was a huge disappointment. The characters were mostly insufferable. Unlike you, Joe, I fucking hated the brother and his goddamn quotes. Like, it was funny at first, but he did it so much during the movie. I couldn't wait for him to be killed. Like, I just couldn't stand his fucking ass anymore. The real estate agent, like you said, super out of place. Don't really understand what the whole deal with her is. The fucking dude that comes in later with the nipple piercings and all that shit, or on the stomach piercings, whatever the fuck that is, what the fuck? Like it makes no sense whatsoever.
The fear guy?
Yeah, it felt super
Yeah.
out of place. It was just this whole movie is weird. But like you guys said, Matthew McConaughey fucking saves this. And he's so good. He plays crazy so well, and you never know what he's gonna do next. He's so unpredictable, and that's what makes that role so good because he could be kind of sweet, but then turn immediately into a fucking psycho, and then kind of just be hard on himself, then go back into like killing mode. It's just amazing performance. I didn't think Renee Zellweger was that bad. She wasn't, obviously not nearly her greatest performance here, but it wasn't like distracting to me in any way. And even the survivors, I didn't really like too many of them. So it's like, who the fuck cares what happens to them? It's just a weird movie overall. I didn't hate it because there are some moments that kind of made me laugh in a, wow, that's so stupid, or wow, that's really crazy kind of way. But it's entertaining, definitely low ranking on the TCM chart.
Oh yeah, it's the worst one by far. Even over the 2022 version. I think that one's superior to this.
Yeah, I really hate it. What is it, Leatherface?
Yeah, Leatherface I didn't like.
You didn't like Leatherface with Ken Foree and Viggo Mortensen?
No, the other Leatherface.
Oh, that one.
The recent
Oh,
one,
that one's
like the
fucking
prequel
terrible.
one.
The prequel. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make that one the least favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's so dumb. Like I understand it's a horror movie and characters have to make bad decisions, but when a dude is chasing you in a fucking truck and on both sides of you are woods, just veer off into the woods. You're safe. But no, he runs like a fucking moron straight down the road. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, man? I
You
don't know.
remind me of that scene in Game of Thrones with the fucking arrow where he's
Oh
like,
gosh.
I'll let you have a
Bob and
run
weave,
first.
dude.
All he has to do is run fucking diagonally and be fine. No, he runs in a fucking super
Straight.
straight line. Dude has time to grab a coffee before he like
Yeah.
throws it. It's like, fuck off, man. Like, yeah, you're right. That bothered the shit out of me. At least Renee Zellweger kind of did that, thankfully.
Yeah.
She runs into the woods, so.
I like there's a one scene where Leatherface is cutting down the door and you can see the pre-cuts in it, which I thought was pretty funny. Which I don't know, it's hard to make movies, so I just thought it was added to the enjoyment. But what was up with that mannequin of the sheriff up in that room? Was that a dead body or was that just a mannequin of a sheriff?
No, I think it was a dead body. Like, and then, I mean, this movie really does feel like a remake, right? Like, in a lot of ways. Like, they
Mm,
really did use, like, almost all the same beats, even the same dinner scene, essentially. Like, you have a weird version of Grandpa in this one who did look dead. There's a bunch of dead bodies, and then, like, Grandpa just randomly opens his eyes at one point, gets up, and that's the only time you ever see him. Like, he doesn't do anything, he adds nothing to the movie, like, at all. Like, at least in the original, like, they had him holding the hammer and shit, which was fucking terrifying and sucking the blood. But in this one, it's just useless.
Yeah, and those bodies were moving. Like I kept watching them. You could see their hands fucking like moving because they're probably like stiff from sitting there all day. And for the body or the sheriff's like mannequin or whatever, it kind of reminded me. You guys ever see the South American funerals in real life where they pose the body like
oh
a
wow.
boxer or on a bike
Yeah.
or fucking like just like they call them like life poses, and it's just bodies that are propped up. It kind of reminded me of that, so I thought it was a body, but who knows in this movie?
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Did anyone notice that the pizza place was playing Mexican music?
No.
It's like, come on. The editor or the sound guy had one job. It's a fucking pizza shop, and he's playing Mexican music. Like, it makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Todd Gripe.
What is up with that? And then are these like the dumbest cops like ever? Like they just the guys like get out of the car. What's in the trunk? He's just like, I ain't showing you, and just like gets out and just like jumps back in the car and drives away. And
That's
they're just
right,
like,
because the
okay,
body's
whatever.
in the fucking
Yeah.
the girl's in the trunk.
You can literally hear her like screaming, right? Like she's like banging on. He's like, "Hey, what's in the trunk?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing." Just like gets back in her. Also, not a. This isn't like a Massachusetts thing. I feel like it's more of a Midwest thing. But like, I've never been to a pizza shop that has a drive-through where like
Yeah,
they give.
we have him here.
That's a thing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I remember. I think that was they had that in Kansas too, but not one place around here has that. And
Huh.
I found it fascinating.
I have a question. How does the girl that gets hung up on a meat hook end up in the middle of the fucking road? I mean,
Yes.
how?
Not they never even show her get off, right? Like
No,
from what I
she's just on
remember,
the hook,
she just
and then
randomly
she's in the
got
road.
off.
It's funny because
She's
I was like playing with my phone a little bit at this point, and I looked up and I saw her like off crawling. I rewound because I thought I missed a part of the movie, but no, they don't show it. She just off the hook.
Superhuman strength off the
Yeah,
hook, and
yeah.
then
Yeah,
uh,
it's a good question, and that's like where I'm saying like that like it really is like a remake because like
yeah,
they use the same exact beats like the fucking hook again and shit like that. But it's like, why did they make Leatherface so fucking weak in this
he's
movie?
terrible,
Like,
man.
why? I just don't understand it. He's supposed to be the strongest character. And the thing that I find the most like fascinating is that this is coming from the same guy who wrote the original movie
Right.
that like was part of the filmmaking of that original movie. Like, why would he go and make something like this? Like almost like a parody, right? Like it just felt like a complete parody of Leatherface. There's even a fucking that scene where Renee Zellweger even gets up and is like, sit the fuck down to Leatherface, and he fucking cowers
Yeah.
like a little bitch. Like it was so weird.
Maybe I mean maybe that just proves Toby Hooper was the brains behind the
I don't
operation.
maybe.
Um, no, yeah, I agree. Leatherface, like you both mentioned, is like the cream of the crop. This is what we're here for. Leatherface doing shit, and
Hmm.
he's like crying and cowering and wearing just like he's always worn women's clothes, but they played it as he was like just this strange, weird guy instead of a, ruthless killer,
Hmm.
And it was super weird too. We haven't even gotten to like the weirdest shit,
Yeah, right.
like the remote control fight that they have, which is so awful. Like
It's bad.
they're in the dining room and Matthew McConaughey has a remote control for his leg. And to explain to you if you haven't seen it, it's his actual leg, but it has like an exoskeleton around it. And it like beeps and
Yeah,
when he walks and
there's no
shit.
explanation for it either. Like we don't know
None.
why. Like it's like what the fuck is going on with that?
It's just cool, man. And
Why
he's
why
really
is
good
there
at
remote
soccer.
control for it? Yeah.
And it makes like the fucking like this weird robotic noise too constantly. It's like what the fuck?
And then Zellweger gets a hold of the fucking remote and starts hitting it, and he starts kicking his leg out like a spaz. It's so fucking funny. He gets up and falls. It's slapstick bullshit.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of it this is slapstick. It's weird. Like and then there's even like that like she runs away and like he has like three different like TV remotes and he's like picking them all up trying to like work his leg with it. It's just like man, it's so weird. Like and then like we get into like I actually found the most interesting part about the whole movie was like the Illuminati sort of tie-in with that guy. Like, I don't understand why
Explain. Yeah, I was gonna say, explain it to me, man, because it makes
why
no
he
sense.
has. Well, so like the whole sort of there's like a little bit of an explanation where they're talking about how there's a secret society, and like they're like the ones that killed JFK and blah blah blah. Like there's this whole like underground secret society of people. And this guy apparently is like a part of it, where it's almost sort of like an elite hunting club too, where like they like, it's almost like they hire like these redneck people out. Like it's like a higher class, obviously he's like in this limo, but I don't know, I don't understand why he had his nipples pierced and like had all these like sort of markings on his body. I don't know what's going on there, but they're like a sort of high ranking cult that, you know, basically controls the world. Like, yeah, obviously we hear about these things like from conspiracy theorists all the time, but it seems like to me what they do is they like hire these people out, and it's almost like a martyr situation where like it was if you put people through enough torture that they go through sort of this like divine like intervention like thing, or like they appreciate life more, is what he was trying to explain. It was so bizarre, but I'm like, this is kind of like an interesting way to go about it in like a Texas Chainsaw movie. Like at least it was something different, but it was fucking weird,
Well, there's
man.
your problem. It's a Texas Chainsaw movie.
Right.
We
Yeah,
got these fucking weirdos.
it's a slasher movie, but then like
Yeah.
they introduced this whole sort of Illuminati like high society thing into it, and but it's never explored like really enough. Like it's just this one dude who just sort of shows up, and he was fucking something, man. His portrayal was pretty terrible in itself, but like the whole, like I just don't understand. Like I think you would have been better off like having him play straight lace rather than him like opening his shirt up and showing like the piercings, and just at that point it just became like too comical where you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was a miss.
Yeah, big
They
time.
tried. Um, so out of all the things that could have happened to Matthew McConaughey's character, did you guess a plane hitting him would be his death?
That's
Definitely
so
not.
random. The whole ending is super fucking random. First,
Yeah.
obviously, they make him, they need the chainsaw because it's called fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But like you say, it doesn't actually kill anyone with the chainsaw. It just chases Renee Zellweger around for parts of the movie. And the ending is weird. So you have the airplane that kills Matthew McConaughey. You have a limo that comes, which is that fucking dude with the piercings that picks up Renee Zellweger. You have Leatherface, who's like chasing her with the chainsaw, and then he's like on a truck chasing her with the chainsaw, and then like it's a weird fucking sequence at the end. It was kind of bad.
I will say though, like pretty lady Leatherface, as I would put it, like is the like it looks way cooler than how he looked throughout the rest of this movie. Like his mask was so shitty
Mhm.
in the beginning. Like it really did just look like a fucking like $5 like mask you would get off fucking like Wish or something like that. And his costume looked terrible. He was wearing like this weird like sort of camo, like cheap camo
Yeah.
jacket, and it just did not like, it just wasn't cool. But like once he goes into the drag, I feel like that's more like cool. Like it just looked cooler and
It would
creepier.
have been creepier if he played it scary
Well,
though.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he doesn't. Like I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's more on the actor. Like actually, apparently they did ask Gunner to come back, but he wanted too much money.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Plus, he saw a script.
right. We
I
do
want
get some
more weed.
cameos though. We get some cameos at the end of this movie,
More
right?
weed. Yeah, dude, I was gonna say the best
Yeah.
part is Sally at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
a really
get
cool touch.
Sally, and Grandpa plays the orderly or whatever as well.
Dugan, John Dugan.
Yeah, John Dugan. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see Zellweger's what at the hospital or something, and
Yeah.
then Sally gets wheeled by screaming,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the same actress. So that was a really
And
cool
then,
touch.
but then it just like ends like so. I don't like the ending was just so like sort of lackluster. I mean, we do get, of course, the iconic sort of Leatherface doing his dance, but like once again, it just feels like so lazy. Like it's
Yeah.
just like just rehashes, of that original movie, but just like shitty in every single way. Like,
It seemed to um like the other TCMs seem really remote, like you're in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere. But this one didn't, like you were It seemed like they're right next to the high school town. I mean, they walk to the girls' real estate office, so it just seemed like they were in the middle of suburbia almost, which doesn't make any sense at all either. So I don't know, just a lot of choices that simply don't work, and it's unfortunate because it's hard to fuck this up. Have a redneck family with Leatherface killing people, easy peasy, but they messed it up.
Mhm.
Who knew that this movie would find 2 fucking future Academy Award winners?
I know.
Like,
It's insane.
yeah,
It
casting
really is
director apparently was
crazy.
the only one on point in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew's, like we all said, fucking good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
If you met
absolutely.
him, what would you get signed? Is it this movie?
Probably.
Just to make
Is
him
this
laugh?
the only horror movie he's done? Like,
He did a bunch of chick flicks and he got serious, did Interstellar.
Yeah, no, I'd probably
What
get him to
else?
sign this.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
I would just, yeah, because it's just funny.
It's funny.
But yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
there really is some interesting like behind the scenes stuff here. Like Renee Zellweger recently, like, well, on IMDb in an interview, she said she reflected on this movie and said it was really dangerous. I don't know if any of it was legal. It was a great workout running from a guy with a live chainsaw. It was a lot of fun. It was my first role. I couldn't believe that somebody was going to trust me with that and take a chance on me. But she said, I have no shame about this
Good for her.
movie whatsoever. She also said it was very low budget, so we all shared a tiny Winnebago. I'm assuming probably the one they crash at the end of this movie with the old couple that picks her up. She said it would we all share a tiny Winnebago that the producer of the film it belonged to him. It was his personal camper, so makeup was in the front seats. There was a table in the middle for hair, and there was a tiny little curtain by the bathroom. That is where we would put our prom dresses on. It was ridiculous how we pulled that off. I have no idea. I'm sure none of it was legal. Anything we did was a little bit dangerous, but what an experience. It was kamikaze filmmaking. So there you go.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
What also pisses me off is that the poster's really cool, but they make it seem like Renee Zellweger is gonna be Leatherface.
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
didn't
Right.
like,
really. It's a
thin
female,
girl,
like yeah,
yeah.
like a attractive looking sort of female, like not Leatherface at all, like in these tights.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool
yeah,
art,
it is
but
cool. It is a cool cover. And then yeah, like the alternative title too. I've never heard it called The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is what is actually listed at on Letterboxd currently.
yeah,
If you
me either till I
oh,
saw the letterbox thing. Even on
yeah.
I have we got the VHS and Blu-ray and all that shit. It's all the same thing, Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, budget $600,000. You guys want to guess how much it made? Less than $1 million.
Less than I was gonna say. I'd be shocked if it made its budget back.
Not even close.
Yeah.
185K. Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
But I bet it made a shit
It's
ton
kind
on
it's
video.
kind
Yeah,
I
seriously.
get
Yeah.
right. I mean, I guess it's kind of surprising like when you throw like I don't know, 90s was a weird time in horror obviously,
Yeah.
but I feel like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is still like having that name attached.
Yeah,
Um
opening weekend in the US and Canada was $28,000. So it must have had like a extremely limited release, which is
yeah,
a mistake.
it's a weird one for
Mm.
sure. Yeah. First movie where Leatherface does not kill someone with a chainsaw.
Well,
So there you
mistake.
go. Big mistake.
It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but
Mhm.
whatever.
You know, they actually asked Bill Johnson to come back too from
Ooh, that'd
part
be cool.
two to reprise his role, and he also turned it down. I'm assuming because, like you said, it was fucking shoestring budget and all
Yeah,
these
they also
guys.
didn't have enough weed for him. So,
Did this dude who played Leatherface go on to do anything? I wonder with his career.
I
Let's
hope
see.
not.
Robert Jacks played Leatherface, and he was in A Troll's Bridge. He was in Scary Movie, and he passed away in 2001 at the age of 41. So rest in peace.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, apparently, so this was originally released under the title of The Return to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It appears at the end credits, even in the retitled Next Generation version. So if any of you
I
have the
didn't pay
DVD,
attention.
you will see it apparently at the very end of the credits there. Interestingly enough, too, 2 years after this movie was released, both McConaughey and Zellweger skyrocketed to fame, both in the same year of 1996. A Time to Kill and Jerry Maguire came out. Um, both used the same talent agency, and Sony, which owned the distribution rights for this movie, wanted to re-release the movie based off of the two successes of those movies, highlighting the pair. But their agent threatened a lawsuit claiming the actors were being unfairly exploited. The agency also said that if Sony emphasized their names in any way on the re-release. Neither would appear in any future Sony releases. The film eventually did get a brief limited theatrical release in September of 97. So there you have it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rate this fucker.
Like I said, the behind the scenes stuff is more interesting than the actual movie. Yeah, so I'll start us off. I mean, this movie's bad. It's a terrible movie in just about every way. There's fucking hardly any kills in here. Leatherface is a little bitch, but McConaughey is worth the price of admission. I think nostalgia plays a big part of this for me and why I'm rating it so high. Because honestly, this is probably like a half a star, 1 star movie, like at best. But just the fact of like how sort of bizarre and weird it is in a lot of ways kind of puts a little charm in the movie for me. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm probably rating it too high, but I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5.
All right. Well, I guess I'm rating it too high as well. 2 out of 5. And that's, mostly for McConaughey because I genuinely think
Yeah,
he's a really good
agreed.
character in this, man. Take the robot leg away, like you said, and he's
Mhm.
even more scary. His fucking crazy ass eyes. He's just a good actor,
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's wonky, it's goofy, it's stupid, it's poopies. Leatherface sucks ass. But yeah, Matthew McConaughey is fucking dope, so I give it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, and I'm also apparently rating it too high because it's a bad movie, but I didn't hate watching it. I still had some fun watching it because it's so fucking wild and everything. I'm actually higher than you guys. I get 2.5 out of 5.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
It's still, I still had a good time watching it, and I know it's bad, but Matthew McConaughey kills it. There's some goofy scenes that I'm gonna remember, and I had a good time. I was never bored with this one.
can I
Cool.
guess what Letterbox thinks, Joe, before you
Ooh,
reveal it?
sure.
I'm guessing 2.1.
Okay.
I'll go 1.7.
Oh,
All right. Right in the middle, gentlemen. Letterbox has it currently at a 1.9.
There you
brutal.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
go.
Pretty bad. Although the Metascore is a 50, interestingly enough.
Wow.
Wow.
I think the IMDb was like a 3.8 or something.
I think it's a
was looking
3
at.
point. I was just looking at. I think it was a 3.3,
Okay, pretty
which is
low.
pretty awful as well.
Yeah.
So not good in any
Mm.
aspect, but there you go. It is actually interestingly enough, it's categorized. The first thing is categorized as a dark comedy on IMDb. So
Okay.
so there you have it. All right. Well, that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen, for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed our review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Next week, Steve, what do we got?
We are going to A Quiet Place Day One. So we're gonna watch the brand new VOD release, A Quiet Place Day One, with Lupita Nyong'o and the dude from Stranger Things and Fantastic Four. I forget his name. So yeah, that's what we're
Philip.
gonna do. Philip, sure.
What's his name in Stranger Things? Philip?
Eddie
John?
Munson.
Eddie
Eddie,
Munson.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you have it, folks. Yeah, currently on VOD, so go and check it out before next week's episode. In the meantime, you can keep up with the podcast: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. Just search the Horror Squad Podcast. You can email us anytime, the Horror Squad Podcast at gmail.com. But of course, the absolute best way to keep up with the podcast is our Discord. Completely and totally free to join. Amazing community over there. A ton of channels to go through where we talk anything and everything horror and non-horror. We got movie club every month over there, amongst many other things. So please join our Discord. It is linked on our Instagram, or you can send us an email or a DM, and we will get you a link to join the Discord. Don't forget, important events, October 11th through the 13th, Salem, Massachusetts. It's just a bunch of Halloween weekend. The three of us will be there, along with the cast of Hocus Pocus. So come and join us. There's going to be a lot of great events. We will get more into it a little bit closer yet. We also got interviews coming up with the cast relatively soon, leading up to the event. So we're very excited for that. So join us once again, October 11th to the 13th in Salem, Massachusetts. Also, don't forget, leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. That would help the podcast greatly to get the word out there further. Or you can buy merch, tpublic.com the Horror Squad podcast. That's also linked over on our Instagram. Yeah. So those are a couple ways. Yes, secret project approaching. We'll be announcing that. When, Todd?
I'm thinking maybe we'll announce it August 1st, around then.
Okay.
Maybe a couple days before then, but we'll
This
see.
episode comes out
This
August
episode
2nd.
comes out August 2nd, so
Oh, it's July. What fucking month are we in?
July 31st.
Tomorrow's August
Danish.
1st.
Oh, let's just keep it in there because this, it's podcasting magic. We don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm at. We'll announce it when it's appropriate. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
August 1st. I forgot what fucking day it is. Oh my gosh, it's July 31st today? Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Crazy. But yeah, secret project coming very soon. We're very excited to announce that. It'll be a call to arms to all of you, our listeners, to help us out on this secret project. So keep your ears and eyes open on our socials and the podcast for the secret project. I think that's about it, though, folks. So we'll see you next week for A Quiet Place, Day 1. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.